Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this video on the concept of Tawheed in Islam. Tawheed is a concept that lies at the very core of our faith, and understanding it is essential for our spiritual growth and well-being. In this video, we will explore what Tawheed means, why it is important, and how it affects our daily lives as Muslims. What is Tawheed? Tawheed can be defined as the belief in the oneness of Allah, the only true God. It is the foundation of Islamic monotheism and the rejection of all forms of polytheism or association of partners with Allah. The concept of Tawheed is based on the Quranic verse, "Say, He is Allah, who is, 1, Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent." Quran 112-14. Types of Tawheed. There are three types of Tawheed in Islam. Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, the oneness of Allah in His lordship. Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, the oneness of Allah in His worship. Tawheed al-Asma wal-Sifat, the oneness of Allah in His names and attributes. Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. Tawheed al-Rububiyyah refers to the belief in the oneness of Allah in His lordship. This means that Allah is the only creator, sustainer, and provider of the universe. It also means that He has complete control over everything that happens in the universe. This type of Tawheed is based on the Quranic verse, "Allah is the creator of all things, and He is the guardian over all things." Quran 39:62. Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah refers to the belief in the oneness of Allah in His worship. This means that Allah alone deserves to be worshipped, and no one else should be worshipped besides Him. This type of Tawheed is based on the Quranic verse, "And your Lord has decreed that you not worship except Him." Quran 17:23. Tawheed al-Asma wal-Sifat. Tawheed al-Asma wal-Sifat refers to the belief in the oneness of Allah in His names and attributes. This means that Allah has unique and perfect names and attributes, and there is no one like Him. This type of Tawheed is based on the Quranic verse, "There is nothing like unto Him, and He is the hearing, the seeing." Quran 42:11. Why is Tawheed important? Tawheed is important for several reasons. It is the foundation of Islamic monotheism and the rejection of all forms of polytheism or association of partners with Allah. It is the basis of our worship and devotion to Allah. It gives us a clear understanding of the nature of Allah and His relationship with His creation. It helps us apply the principles of Tawheed in our daily lives and make decisions based on what pleases Allah. Implications of Tawheed in our daily lives. Tawheed has several implications in our daily lives as Muslims. It affects our beliefs, our actions, and our relationship with Allah and His creation. Some of the implications of Tawheed are as follows. Belief in the oneness of Allah. Tawheed requires us to believe in the oneness of Allah and reject all forms of polytheism or association of partners with Him. This means that we should not worship anyone or anything besides Allah and should attribute all power and authority to Him alone. Seeking Allah's pleasure. Tawheed requires us to seek Allah's pleasure in everything we do. This means that we should strive to please Allah in our thoughts, words, and deeds and avoid anything that displeases Him. Trusting in Allah. Tawheed requires us to put our trust in Allah and rely on Him for everything. This means that we should have faith in Allah's plan for us and accept whatever He decrees for us, whether it is good or bad. Following the Sunnah of the Prophet. Tawheed requires us to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and emulate his example in our daily lives. This means that we should follow the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah and apply them to our daily lives. In conclusion, Tawheed is a fundamental concept in Islam that lies at the very core of our faith. It requires us to believe in the oneness of Allah, reject all forms of polytheism, and seek Allah's pleasure in everything we do. Tawheed has several implications in our daily lives, including belief in the oneness of Allah, seeking Allah's pleasure, trusting in Allah, and following the Sunnah of the Prophet. By understanding and applying the principles of Tawheed in our daily lives, we can strengthen our faith, improve our relationship with Allah, and lead a fulfilling life that is pleasing to Him. May Allah guide us all to the straight path and grant us success in this life and the hereafter. Ameen.